Barrientos, Rosas. 9th fight of the night. And we are underway. So 3 3-minute rounds, regular MMA rules for this one, as Barrientos right to that lead leg of Rosas.
Well, that almost turned out bad for Barrientos. He kind of lost his footing there on the kick, but his head is still stuck, but he ended up on top in this exchange, working his way out of the guillotine.
Yeah, so Bryce still holding on to that head, kind of almost trapping himself in there, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. And sometimes when you're holding onto that head, it makes it easier for that person to take you down. But Rosas did a good job here in the scramble, and he's ended up on top yet again.
His corner asking for him to rain some shots down. But
easier said than done. You know, when you start to open up, it's often the opportunity your opponent has to get back to their feet, to get to a better position. And Barrientos is definitely experienced and saw that opportunity when it came to him. Oh, nice uppercut.
Good shot by Rosas as they break apart.
I have to say that Rosas, for being a debuter, is looking super impressive here tonight. He has definitely given Barrientos a run for his money.
Yeah, great start so far, and not sure who's going to get that takedown right there. Both made go to the ground.
They're both pretty good at not accepting the takedowns, not accepting the scrambles. They're both fighting the whole time to get on top.
Rosas trying to land the big shots now. Barrientos doing a good job to evade them so far.
Oh.
Great work by Barrientos, and now he's back to his feet. Smooth stuff there from Alex.
Yeah, you can definitely see him, you know, really finding those opportunities to change things up, whereas Rosas is a little bit less experienced and is not, you know, he's so aggressive, and that's good, but he, you know, sometimes you need to, like, you know, set into the fight and breathe a little bit.
Rosas looking for a huge uppercut.
A home for that uppercut.
Well, Bryce breathing a little heavy here, 2.5 minutes into this first round. Nice shot landed by Barrientos as Rosas came in.
He's definitely not looking as polished, you know, as Alex, but they can be hard sometimes as a fighter when you're the more polished, the more technical fighter, and someone's coming at you really wild and aggressive. You know, it can really throw things off.
Well, and Rosas definitely the more powerful of the two.
But, you know, that big swing there from Rosas is allowing Alex to look for that takedown and change things up.
Well, we've seen it multiple times tonight in our MMA bouts that the fighter that's out of control ends up getting taken down, and there's another example of it as Barrientos got the takedown. Really good first round.
Fourth round, it's going to be hard for the judges to call that one.
I mean, Rosas landed the big shots. Barrientos, better work on the ground. Close first one right there for me.
Yeah, I think the judges might see Rosas' aggression and maybe some of the bigger shots that he landed in these good positions and call the round. Like, that one right there is some really good work for him. So I'm kind of leaning more towards Rosas. He didn't look as polished toward the end, but, you know, I think he's finding out what works in there in real time. Real-time learning right here.
Well, I'd say the biggest shot of that round probably did belong to Rosas. He hit Barrientos with an uppercut on the far side of the cage from us at one point. Ready for round number 2. We'll have an all-striking exhibition between Nathan Vines and Colin Herndon coming up after this.
And Barrientos has definitely had some success as well. And when he finds himself in those opportunities, when he switches things up, he's got to capitalize on it. Man, Rosas is coming in hard.
Well, Barrientos thought he saw an opening, but Rosas met him with a couple of big shots. And I think Alex felt those.
They're calling for the sprawl, which is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to get that leg back so he can fight off this takedown. Barrientos is hanging on. He's ready to grind it out in that position.
Rosas taking the back, looking for that neck. It looks like the corner telling him no choke.
No choke. It's so easy to fall off of the back here. You know, Barrientos has got a good little turtle. And sometimes when you're quick to take the back like that, you just end up rolling over the top of them and you end up in a bad position. So I think they just want him to settle here and look for damage to be done.
Strength of Rosas getting that takedown. And he ends up in side control.
Look for a crucifix here. He's got a good position. He just needs to be patient, let his opponent make the mistakes. He's got the time, he needs to settle and stay away from those legs, because now he's in a precarious position.
Yeah, he kind of just let Barrientos
and that's definitely
freely move around there.
The lack of experience there. He didn't control the hips like he needed to, but now it's up to Barrientos to really capitalize on that.
Halfway through round 2, Rosas on top. Barrientos doing everything he can to work back to his feet, I suppose. Looked like he had an opening there.
He needed to be a little bit more explosive and get him back at his feet. He just didn't quite, pull the trigger as hard as he needed to.
Now this is not where you want to be.
Yeah, now he's on the end of some devastating blows here.
This is a very compromising position for Alex Barrientos. Rosas has 60 seconds to work.
And I think this is where his team wants him. They don't want him to go for a choke and fall off or lose position. They want him to stay here and look for shots, look for what's open, and land damage.
And they were calling for a hammer fist a moment ago. They definitely just want to see some damage out of Rosas. See if he can cinch up that body lock.
Now they're calling for the choke.
Well, and his position's a little bit better now, right?
Yeah,
like
you've got there's less time in the round, so this is basically when you want to go for something like that.
Yeah, 25 seconds.
He can't get his hand free, but if he can get it free, it's not going to be good for Barrientos.
And Barrientos hanging on for dear life here, and it looks like he will survive.
Scramble to come up quicker. Some good shots from Mount.
Ooh. Honestly, a good job there by Barrientos to not eat some huge shots, because that was a great position for Rosas. He definitely landed a couple, but that could have been much worse for Barrientos at the end. But a tremendous round there by Bryce.
Absolutely, and people think, I think mistakenly, that once you get into Mount, the fight is won. That this is this dominant position. Everybody wants to get there and rain punches, but it's a lot harder to maintain Mount and posture up to rain down punches than people think. Alex did an excellent job of bridging and keeping Rosas off balance just long enough to survive that position.
Well, I thought when he put that knee down on the arm, and I thought he was going to have the arm trap for the final 10 seconds, and fortunately Barrientos was able to get it out of there. That would have been a real bad spot.
That's one of those things a little bit risky, because it puts, as the person on top, it puts your weight so far forward, it actually makes it kind of easier to buck you off.
Buck him off, yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely had a close first round. There's no telling who got that round in the judges' eyes, but certainly round 2 goes to Rosas. He put on a pretty dominant performance there.
Third and final round. Round 2 was certainly won by Rosas. Looked like they were gonna.
He kind of fainted, like he was gonna do something, and went straight for the takedown. Maybe, he's feeling pretty confident on, how things played out on the ground. Knows feels that he can win the fight there, so I can't blame him for looking for that takedown early. Okay, his coaches are calling for body, head. And, just as being on your feet, you want to mix it up for the body, head. You want to do the same thing on the ground in the guard. Everybody looks for those head shots, but you start pounding somebody in the body, those head shots become open.
That up kick was close from Barrientos, and diving right back down into the guard is Rosas.
They want him to throw body, head. They keep calling that. He's opened up a little bit too much, I think, for some of the strikes. He still have to be very measured and careful here. Here's an arm bar.
He's got that arm.
Fighting it.
And he's losing it.
That was scary, but he got his arm out. Like I said, he's got to be careful there, because Barrientos is looking for those.
You love the idea right there from Barrientos, though, right? You're on your
Yeah.
back, you're in trouble, you're losing a lot of this fight. Why not take a submission
Definitely.
attempt?
He almost changed the fight there, and he needs to look for that again, or look for the sweep, look to get his feet. What he can't do is stay there and take a pummeling.
Final 90 seconds. See Rosas flipping those hips over, looking for the back. His corner telling him to finish this fight. He's got 75 seconds to do so.
Just be careful throwing those punches.
Yeah,
that looked a little elbowy.
I think that was that was like setting the elbow down on there real quick, you know?
It was like setting the elbow down on the end of the punch. Like a little gray area. But he's definitely allowed to set or to press his forearm into the fighter's face. That is certainly allowed.
Well, he just landed a few left hands to the face of Barrientos.
He's doing a good job here being measured with his strikes. He did exactly what his corner called a big left to the face. He's talking some smack to his opponent.
I mean, that right there is dominating your opponent. You're on top, landing shots, and letting them know about it with the mouth as well. That's it.
And it is caught at the very end of the round. 13 seconds to go. That's got to be pretty exciting for Rosas to come in here. Definitely the underexperienced fighter compared to Barrientos, who's had 2 MMA fights, 2 kickboxing fights, and Rosas got it done. It's very impressive.
Great stuff from Bryce Rozas. I feel like that first round was fairly close, and then Rosas just started to turn it on, really picked up momentum in round number 2, and then a third round in which he dominated his opponent and gets the finish with 13 seconds left on the clock. And that's about as good as you can draw it up in your first ever MMA match for Bryce Rozas. You get the win, you get a finish, and you get 3 rounds of experience as well. So I'd say that was pretty picture perfect.
He definitely got his money's worth tonight.
Yeah, he's tired. Look, the gas tank held up pretty well. I thought in round 2 I saw him come out. He was breathing a little heavy, but I felt like his pace the entire time stayed, at that point. It was very aggressive.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee has called a stoppage to the action at 2 minutes 44 seconds in the third and final round, declaring your winner, Bryce Rozas.
Yeah, what we may have witnessed that first round is, him shaking off the nerves because he hasn't had that experience yet. May have come out looking a little gassed in round 2 because, of the adrenaline rush. But once he got settled, he really performed well. He found success on the ground, and so that's where he decided to take the fight in round 3. And there he is talking smack to Alex Barrientos.
That was almost like he was talking to a baby or something on the ground. Like, there's nothing you can do about this. But what an effort there from Bryce Rozas. You may be correct about the nerves early on. I think that's a great point. And then in the second round, he found himself and he took over the fight, and he'll take the win home with him as well.